I'm going to talk about sort of the role of NGOs in conservation and especially green tourism and benefits to the community. And I want to thank Steve. Yesterday he did a wonderful job at what he's doing down in Watamu. I think that was really an excellent piece of work. Of course, we all know that most of the wildlife is outside our protected area, 70%. And the kind of tourism that we get in this country is wildlife based. And most of this wildlife live on community land. These communities do not benefit so much from wildlife for many years. The people who have benefited are mostly the elites. If you look at Masai Mara, those who are benefiting in other places, especially in pastoral areas where the level of education is very, very low. The Maasais are right behind in terms of education. So the few that have merit really try to exploit the illiterate wider group in the society. These communities face the problem of living with wildlife. They incur the costs through crop raiding. Many of them have been killed or injured, property destroyed. But of course, the government does not pay compensation for all these. We'll be talking about all these challenges. And as a result, the communities are not supporting conservation because there's no benefits. A lot of costs incurred, but no benefits. As I say, most of the benefits go to the elites. Habitats have been destroyed as a result because nobody wants this wildlife. And yet, that's what we use to market our country, the big five. People want to see lions, they want to see elephants. Elephants require a big area. They consume so much. They need about 300 kilos of food every day, 150 liters of water. So they require these big areas. And protected areas, national parks, cannot really sustain these animals. So we have seen over time a really big reduction in wildlife numbers. I think Norton Treaties talks about 53% reduction for the last 20 years. And we are seeing more reduction because most of this wildlife is actually neglected on community land, and there's no much support to ensure that it's actually protected and conserved. Wildlife-based tourism then becomes the best form of land use in these areas. But again, since it's not given much support, you find most of the landowners trying to adopt other land uses that may not be compatible with conservation. Agriculture is now expanding in these habitat areas, and yet we know that tourism contributes significantly to the Kenyan's economy. The GDP, when you look at Kenya and Tanzania, we actually benefit so much, and the Vision 2030 recognizes tourism as one of the three key economic pillars to our economic growth and development. As much as we do recognize that, the government is not doing as much to ensure that the wildlife outside protected areas actually thrive so that the communities can support their conservation and also derive benefits from them. Because most of these are found in areas that are dry, that are not suitable for cultivation. But now, with increasing human population, people have now moved into dry areas. They are using irrigation, they are draining boreholes, and we are seeing a lot of food coming out from those dry areas at the expense of conservation. Protected areas are also threatened by increasing infrastructure development. The standard gauge railway from Mombasa to Nairobi, all the way to Kisumu, possibly to Uganda, Kampala. We have highways that are coming up. Mombasa, Nairobi is going to be a dual highway. It's going to cut Savo National Park into two. Actually, Savo has now been split completely with the standard gauge railway because wildlife cannot cross from Savo East to Savo West. With a water pipeline and oil pipeline that are also coming up. I saw the other day elephants are unable to cross from south east to west because the babies cannot cross those pipelines which have been put on top of the surface. That is happening. Mining and exploration of oils and so on. The big offset project from Lamu all the way up is going to cut through the wildlife areas. So we are seeing really a big fear because environmental impact assessment, the strategic environmental assessments have not been properly followed. And rapid developments without really considering the impact of these on biodiversity is a big danger for us as a country. Human population, someone talked about increasing human population yesterday, yes. I think Kenya, we are now standing at about 45 million, 46, as I had, and the population is really increasing. People are now migrating from their respective areas into areas where they think is not inhabited. You know, it's like a free land, Maasai land, because land is still communal, and people see a population there being sparsely populated, and they think they can actually go and settle there. They are putting pressure on the Maasai land, they are putting pressure on the resources, and they're doing cultivation, and that's what's causing a lot of conflict in those areas, especially between wildlife and the people. Conflicting government policies. We have many sectoral policies that do not speak the way to Arusha National Park. And back, of course, especially during the dry season, they have to go to Kilimanjaro because being a forest that I have, there's plenty of food. In the event of climate change and what we are seeing, what Maureen has just talked about, we are seeing a disaster in terms of if these transboundary populations, our areas are not allowed to move freely as they used to move. And that connectivity then becomes very important. We have Sabon Komasi as another transboundary population, and of course the Mara Serengeti as equal very important. Migration of wildebeest, which is very sensitive sort of international attraction, can actually be hampered by all these changes that we are seeing. In 2009, we lost almost 5,000 elephants in Amboseli. All the rivers dried, and we lost almost all the hippos in Amboseli and Saba. End of their livestock. That was their livelihood, and it was really a disaster for this community. So how do we sort out all these challenges and issues that we are seeing? The government has limited capacity, and that's why we come in as NGOs, as conservation groups to support. And when I was doing a review of the elephant strategy, I noticed that 60% of the activities that are being implemented in the strategy are undertaken by NGOs. A question that was raised to Steve yesterday, but then it wasn't. What are you doing? I thought, oh, that's not Steve's work. This is a government work. But we took on our part, and African Wildlife Foundation, I would say, has put in a lot of resources in our ecosystem, as well as on the Tanzania side, as you see. But of course, we are moving out now, the things that we have done so much for the last 10, 15 years. But everybody is shaken on the ground because the challenges have even become bigger than when LWF moved in that ecosystem. So this is a continuous process. We are talking about sustainability. We are talking about the greening environment. Wildlife require a green environment. Nairobi being is the headquarters, is a US-based organization, and our mission is to work together with the people of Africa to ensure that wildlife and wildlife in Africa will endure forever. So that sort of holistic and integrated approach is very critical. I see many organizations just focusing on one thing, because if you focus on system, we have what we call conservation actions. We have 11 of them, and considering what is key in the ecosystem, and very quickly I will say, there are water areas that we try to manage, the wetlands, like Kimana wetland and others, through development of management plans and the communities around to ensure that it continues to be there. Kimana wetland has been seriously encroached for agriculture and is producing very nice tomatoes, very nice onions, which is actually supplied to Nairobi, Mombasa, and other places. The amount of money farmers are making from these very fragile ecosystem is so much When we try to lease the land around, we couldn't manage because an acre of land can give a farm about 600,000 Kenya shillings in one harvest. That's good money compared to what they get, almost nothing from conservation. And yet, this wetland is a critical watering point for livestock and wildlife during the dry season. So we are losing this wetland, and we really have to work to ensure that it's actually conserved. We also have corridors, the intended corridors that connect Amboseli to West Kilimanjaro. We have a corridor, the Chulu corridor, that connects Amboseli to Chulu and Southwest. You see elephants utilizing this corridor. We need to secure them, but they are going through people's land. So how can we secure these key corridors to ensure connectivity between these key protected areas? And then, of course, improving the ecological and economic performance of the conservancies. Those are the 6 conservancies that we have established, help the communities to bring their land together so that they maintain that connectivity. These are like the corridors that we have established, and we pay a lease fee so that elephants can continue moving between Amboseli, Savo, as well as West Kilimanjaro and the Tulu Hills.
My name is Sitati. I'm the program manager for African Wildlife Foundation. I work in the Kilimanjaro landscape, which is a transboundary program between Kenya and Tanzania. We work very closely with many partners. We believe in partnership because the partners contribute different things that will ensure sustainability of the program. We work in many sectors and with different expertise, and that's why we support many different partners to help us to achieve our goal, especially towards ensuring that everything is done on a sustainable basis. Local communities are key partners, especially when it comes to land use and advocacy, awareness creation, training or capacity building has really helped them to understand the value of land, and also that has minimized the need for them to sell, and also to allow unnecessary and incompatible land uses that may not work for their good and for their livelihood. What we do, we treat a landscape as one. NGOs, we try to bring all our partners together from Kenya, Tanzania, and we take lead because no one can take lead. And we support every process, ensure that we speak one language, and that's why the porous border has been a bit stable for conservation, has been stable for wildlife, and there's no poaching because of their collaboration, information sharing, and being able to work together as a team.